St. Gregory of Nazianzus lived in the 4th century and is considered one of the great saints of the Orthodox Church. I will present paragraph 20 of his 4th homily, number 30 among his works, where he defends the divine nature of Christ. The disciples of Christ were in favor of the Mosaic law and other Jewish customs such as circumcision and eating kosher being adopted among the Christians. Among early Christians, those in the Judea leaned towards Judaism and the belief in signs and miracles. The mainstream Orthodox Church, established following St. Paul's teachings, took a more balanced view by not adopting Jewish customs, leaning more on the side of reason and relying more on the New Testament and the patristic tradition. In this spectrum, those favoring revelation through the Old Testament like to translate the word logos as the Word, to resonate with the fact that God in the beginning of the book of Genesis and in other places in the Old Testament is said to have spoken. The more traditional Orthodox Christians like myself, who grew up in the Orthodox Church where the Orthodox belief is practiced, tend to lean more towards the idea of Christ as logos, as reason. Christ as logos is the active creator and present cause of everything. May I add, essentially through causality, so that orthodoxy is not misunderstood by atheists. In defense of the traditional view of Orthodox Christianity in the lands where it has flourished, I therefore wanted to highlight this text from St. Gregory of Nazianzus, presenting the meaning of logos and the reason why logos and the Trinity are part of the Christian belief. St. Gregory of Nazianzus, like St. Basil, his brother St. Gregory of Nyssa, and also St. John Chrysostom, lived at the time of the Arianist controversy. Arianism claimed that Christ was fully human in his nature. The Orthodox saints were saying he was both human and divine. As Arianism was for a time dominant, all these saints were persecuted. St. John Chrysostom even martyred for the Orthodox faith in opposing Arianism. It is therefore useful to hear how the divine nature of the Son was defended by these saints and how they perceived the meaning of logos, whether in the Jewish and Catholic tradition as the Word, or in the more philosophical tradition of classical philosophy as reason, the first principle of causality. There is already a translation from Greek into English available through the Catholic Church. However, I am providing a slightly different translation because I wished to preserve the occurrence of the word logos in the text and not translate it as the Word. It is in your discretion, then, to perceive the meaning of the use of the word logos and decide what may be the best way to understand it. Its primary lexical meaning is reason, also universal law or universal order. It is cognate with the Latin word legis. However, for want of a better word in Latin, as legis has the meaning of human law in Latin, the Catholic Church has translated it as verbum, the word. From that translation stem all other Western translations. More appropriately, it should have been perhaps translated as a statement or as speech, which is a secondary meaning of the word logos in Greek, but choosing instead verbum presumably sounded more profound or poetic. So let us begin on St. Gregory of Nazianzus De Filio, Opus 30, paragraph 20. In my opinion, he is called Son because he is identical with the Father in essence, and besides also because he is of him, and he is called Only-Begotten, not because he is alone of the one and only, but also because of the unique manner not as the created bodies. And he is called Logos, because he is related to the Father as Logos is to mind, not only on account of his passionless generation, but also because of the sameness of nature and declaration. Here the meaning of Logos as reason would seem appropriate, because whereas on the one hand reason and mind can be imagined to be of the same nature and declaration and passionless in generation, arguably on the other hand speech and mind are dissimilar. One may also say he is a definition of that being defined, as this is also called Logos. The word Logos, as I already pointed out, has a second use as a statement of definition of some term we wish to define, as in a dictionary. Here the meaning is closer to that of speech or word. St. Gregory seems to contrast the second meaning of Logos as a statement with the first meaning of Logos being the same as mind. There is no other word in Greek for reason other than Logos. For it is said that to see the Father actually means to comprehend him, and the task of demonstrating it is quick and easy. The Son is of the nature of the Father, even as it is unknown why the one and only begotten was begotten. If one may say he is in all that is, he would not be wrong. So Logos is in all that is. This is an idea very prevalent in much of classical philosophy. For what is there not constituted by Logos? Also he is wisdom, being cognizant of divine and human things. For how may the Creator be ignorant of the logoi of all he created? Logoi is the plural of logos, reasons or causes. He is, moreover, a force maintaining all that is created and sustaining their cohesion. He is additionally the truth, one in nature, not many, for there can only be one truth, whereas falsehood is manifold. And he is a pure seal of the Father and a faultless impression, an image of one nature being from the Father and the Father being of him. It is in the nature of the image to be the copy of the original, whose it is said to be. However, there is more to it, because he is the unmoved mover. This is a very significant statement, describing Logos with a quotation from Aristotle. Logos is the unmoved mover, the first cause or first principle of all causes, the cause of causality. Because he is the unmoved mover, the life within what lives, being as Adam was for Seth, the creator of all that is created. For that is the nature of simple existences, that they are not alike in some respect and different in another, rather that all are entirely of the same kind and not simply resembling one another. All simple existences, all the things of the world as opposed to the Trinity, are of one kind. Everything is constituted by Logos in every respect. He is the light of the brightness of a soul that is cleansed in Logos and life, in word and deed. For if ignorance and sin are a darkness, knowledge and life in God are light. Contrast this with John 1:4. For in him, in Logos, there is life, and that life is the light of men. Life is what light is, the foundation and substance of every logical nature. As in him we live and move and are by the force of the twofold breath he breathed into us, all receiving a breath from him and from the Holy Spirit, thus who may receive it to the extent we open our fount of intellect. He is righteousness, distributing deservedly, judging righteously those who have received the law and grace both in soul and body, that the first may rule and the second be ruled, so that what is better has supremacy over the worse, so that what is worse may not rise over what is better. He is sanctification, as he is pure, so that what is pure is filled with purity. He is our Redeemer, freeing us of our sin, giving himself as that ransom that cleanses the world for our salvation. He is resurrection, for raising us and leading us again into life, that we were dead in sin. That is the complete text of paragraph 20, describing the Son and why his nature is not only human but also divine, and in what way it is divine, and in what regard is it of the same essence as the Father. St. Gregory's presentation also echoes the distinction between the essence and energies of God, which is one of the defining differences between Catholicism and Orthodoxy, a topic of a future video. Thank you for listening.